Welcome to the Prospectors radio show, the talk show for our community. Please welcome Rich Cooley, Indiana Gold Hunter Dennis Dayton, Kathleen Biffle, and your host, Tim Grimes.
And don't forget about Rob and Jaron Wheeler, the best moderator.
Where's Kathleen Biffle?
And where's what?
Where's Kathleen Biffle?
Don't it say Scott Swiftwater?
It said Kathleen Biffle. I don't see her in here.
And no, it didn't say Scott.
She must have took it. No, I don't believe it did.
Oh crap. Okay, how about and
Scott? Well, it sounded like Kathleen Biffle.
There.
Whatever.
I love it.
We got
That's
you.
okay.
Got you. I got you. No worries.
You got to get these things set straight, man. I'm just saying.
I guess I do, but I kind of like that one actually.
Yeah, but they're not here.
Well, yeah, that's true. And it's all screwed up because I don't know when they're coming or going. Gonna be here Sunday. Gonna be here Wednesday. Gonna be here Thursday. See. So I guess it just doesn't matter. Just have everybody's name on there.
You funny guy.
It'll take a half hour to do the introduction, and then
we love you. You funny guy.
I have so many names going on. So, you guys ready for tonight?
Sure. Why not? Well, yeah. Why? Why wouldn't we be?
Just curious. Never know.
What do you mean you never know?
I just never know. I'm just asking. I have to ask these questions.
We got pans of gold. He's got clean out. We're doing it. We got water. We're sluice boxing, believe it or not, but we're using a big one, guys. Don't worry.
You got gold prices?
You're kind of rushing, aren't you?
Actually, we have guests tonight.
I kind of am.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm just saying, we're getting ready to do our thing. So whatever there, buddy. But I got gold prices tonight.
You do? Excuse me.
Are you ready?
As soon as I quit choking to death. Yeah, go for it.
Well, that's what the gold prices do usually. Tim's a good guy.
They must really
anyway. And we got, actually, you guys, you ain't gonna believe it, but as of Friday closing, man, we are smoking in the green. It actually went up $23. We're at $19.21. That's right. We broke the $1,900 mark again.
$19.21.
And hey, man, that is where, like right now, I think that's where we want to be.
Yeah.
Just saying. Because that's going to help us tremendously on the long run. Silver actually come in at 50 cents more, which is $24.38. But you guys got to remember 3 or 4 weeks ago, we were at 26 on that. So it took a big dip, but it's recalculating, so to speak. 24 is not that great. 26, if you had enough of it, it'd be worth it. Platinum, that went down $4, went to $1,073. Not really much of a change between that. It just keeps playing tennis up and down. We got palladium, went down -7 and went to 1863, which I would say that's pretty much like a tennis game too. It's still doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. Rhodium, believe it or not, stayed unch. Nobody's trading that stuff. It's at $13,000, and which I can say, I believe last week it actually went up because I think the last time we gave a price, it was $1,269.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. So $12,069. But yeah. It is what it is. And I don't know about the Bitcoin, or don't you even
I was just going to ask, Jerry.
Yeah, you was going to ask me.
Tell me.
Currently, we are at $20,847.
Mm-hmm.
That looks
Up
like
Up significantly from Wednesday.
yes, that looks like it's going up.
Yeah, it's going up, whatever.
It was like what, 16 or 17 Wednesday?
It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. Now you guys know it.
Going up now.
I'm telling you what, they're gonna stipulate rules on this stuff, and when they do, everybody that's in it's gonna go no, and they're gonna freaking run like heck. Number one, you're not supposed to be able to come up with a new currency inside the United States. I mean, that's just a big rule. And right now they're going to this digital currency. If you don't think the government's got some hands in this, you're either stupid to the fact or just oblivious to what's going on in the world.
Why do I get him started every week?
I'm just saying. Follow the facts, man. It's all good. It's all good right now, but when it ain't, you're not gonna like it.
I'm
just saying, man.
Just saying. All right. Well, we're gonna get our guests on here, and that way we can get you to climb down off the soapbox and be ready for our guests. Jaron, you sending them a link, bud?
Just sent it.
Okay.
So that'll take another 5 minutes.
That'll take another minute. Even
He's gonna send it out to his couple people, so I'm not sure if he's gonna jump in and then send it out or.
Right. This is digital, quick, fast technology.
Yeah. Did you hear this guy? Digital, quick, fast technology.
It's zooming across the internet right now.
This guy thinks he's pushing some ICBM over here in the corner. He got his own fans.
It's faster at the push of a button.
I know you got that computer off Amazon. Don't lie to us, dude.
I didn't get no computer off Amazon. The problems I was having with it, you'd think I did.
Right.
Yeah. So if you don't know who our guests are tonight, they are Treasures in America is their YouTube channel, and they have a show called Uncharted Expedition.
Okay.
You can find them on unchartedexpedition.com. You can watch the episodes directly from there.
Maybe we could share a link later on for people, and they could check it out. See, Jaron, I thought it was Uncharted Expeditions, not Treasures in America. See, so I had it backwards, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But we got it sorted out.
We got it sorted out. So we have 14358 with us connecting.
That's probably him.
That I believe is Timothy. Is that correct?
That's right. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you doing tonight?
Not bad. Not bad.
That's good. It's I didn't know I had to remember what the picture looked like because it says you're 14358. So.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's my prison number.
Yeah. So if anybody has any questions for 14358, you can give us a call later on and make sure you get that wrong. So is any of your crew coming to join us too, or?
Yeah, we got Todd coming in. He just got the link right now. Unfortunately, a couple of our guys are traveling right now. A couple of our guys are actually with their family, doing some family things. So, yeah, we're going to have me and Todd on. I think actually what's going to be kind of cool, we've been doing a lot of podcasts with people. Our camera guy has been very busy, but it sounds like he might try to come in today, cool. Which would be nice because then everybody can get an insight from the cameraman.
Right. See, I was talking with Jaron earlier, and I thought that it was Uncharted Expeditions. I didn't realize it's Treasures in America. And then that it's like two different entities or something. Like, can you explain this to me of what this is? What's Uncharted Expeditions? Let's start with that.
So, as we have been growing, we started with Treasures in America and I think on social media, like on Facebook and things like that, about 2015. And it just started off with, me writing articles and sharing some of the adventures that we were having. And then as Treasures in America grew, I started getting more and more team members and we started really expanding. There's more to Treasures in America than just filming. So we thought that it would be pretty smart to create Uncharted Expedition, which is the filming side of it. All of it is under the umbrella of Treasures in America.
Okay. Gotcha. So explain to us what is it exactly you guys are doing out there?
We are looking. Well, it kind of depends, when you watch episode 1 and it kind of depends, how you want to foresee it. To me, we're treasure hunting. Right. Other people see us driving UTVs and having fun, blowing up targets with guns, having fun, even RC cars and prospecting, and it's a little bit of both. I've been treasure hunting for, gosh, it's about 25 years now. It might even be over 25 years. And one thing about treasure hunting that I learned, especially when I was about 16 years old and I got my driver's license, you can't just be that guy with a metal detector. You can't just be the guy with the gold pan. You got to learn how to do it all. The four-wheel driving, the hiking, the surviving out in the outdoors, the climbing, the mine exploration, it's all connected to treasure hunting. So, yeah.
Sure, I agree 100%. Now you're out there in Utah, right?
We are. Yep. Most of us are in Utah.
Almost all you guys. And so that's where you do most of your treasure hunting at, is out there in Utah?
For season 1, we kept it close to home. We have a lot of connections here. We have a lot of stories here. And to be honest with you, it helped out with the budget. We were trying to, we have sites all around North America. We have sites in Central America, South America that we've been working on. But after working on those kind of sites for the last few years, we realized that it's quite expensive to do that. And the movie business is not cheap. So by sticking close to home, we get to go out and film for the weekend, come back to our families instead of being gone for days and days at a time. And we were able to stay within the budget by doing that.
Right. Which is cool. I see, excuse me, Todd has joined us.
Hello.
How are you, Todd? And okay, now who is Todd? I don't know. Tell us, sir. Todd, who's Todd?
I'm Todd. I am a gold miner, do a little metal detecting, and I've been doing it for about 35, 40 years. So I bring that to the team. That's me.
Now, have you guys known each other that long?
No, what have we known each other? 15, 10 years.
It's been a while. We started working with each other. I think around the time that I was just mentioning, that 2015 is where me and Todd definitely, I think we've been working together since then, haven't we? About that time. Yeah.
Right, so that's
cool.
Yeah,
I was up in northern Utah, and then me and my wife moved down here to St. George. And when we did, Tim and I had been talking for a while, but that's when we really got together and started doing things.
Right. Okay. So you guys have been doing it since you 15 times. Right?
So where do you guys primarily do the Utah stuff? In southern Utah, all over, or?
For the first couple seasons or episodes, we definitely kept it close to home. You'd be surprised how close to home some of these sites were. But as we grow, and we're about to launch episode 4 at the end of this month, I was actually just looking at the footage, getting number 4 finalized and ready. I was working on 5. We are moving up north for the next few episodes. So we wanted to show a variety of what we do, not just one site, one story, one treasure. We're going after a lot of different things.
See, I'm over here in Magna, Utah, if you know where that is. Magna, West Valley area.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard anything about that that ship that they allegedly found in the Great Salt Lake?
Yep.
Do you guys have any interest in, are you guys going to do any of that, or?
They actually contacted me and Todd not too long ago, and they sent us a lot of information, pinpoints. We know exactly where it's at. We know from their end how far they got on it, and they have asked us to come out and help and film and things like that. So that is something that we are thinking about in the future. It's a very interesting story.
So I want to know, are you guys all cronies, or were you guys just put together by somebody that wanted to do a production on a movie?
Well, that's a good question. Todd, you want to take that question? You want me to answer that?
We first got together talking over the internet and email and stuff, and started going out looking for things and started filming. And then we decided Tim was getting a team together, and I, like I said, was moving down to southern Utah. So we got together, and no, it's been the team doing this. We don't have anybody putting us together or doing anything. It's just us.
Okay, so it's your cronies. It's people you know.
Yeah,
Yep.
You're exactly
All
right.
That's
And if you don't mind, Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll explain that a little bit. Treasures in America, my name, Todd's name, Sean's name, all of us are not new to the movie business. We've actually been involved with a lot of treasure hunting and prospecting TV shows since 2014. From 2014 to 2019, I was under contract by producers, major networks. For a long time, I was helping them with storylines and ideas and things like that. And for exchange, they, we were new at it. So for a while, we just worked in the way of, we'll help you guys out with your storylines, help you guys come up with a good show or episode. And they were going to put our name out there. We were going to become known with that. Well, a lot of these stories and a lot of things did not hit let me rephrase that. A lot of these stories did hit TV. Our name was not put behind most of them for credibility with who is researching, who gave them the idea and the locations, the history. So after a few years, we just decided, hey guys, let's do this on our own. We got enough experience. We've been there with the Travel Channel. We've been there with the filming cameras. We've been behind the scenes for several years. Let's do it ourselves.
So you said, damn the man, we're doing it.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
Makes sense. Now I also see that Tim, you've wrote a book, right?
I did. Yeah. Treasures of the Ancients. Yeah. The last year has been a crazy year for me. If you watch episode 1, you can see I lost a couple people very close to me in the last year. On top of that, I haven't really made it public. This will be the first time, but I did hit some bad health. We're actually still in the middle of deciphering what it is. So in the last couple months, I found a lot of time sitting around. I wasn't really that mobile. I spent a lot of time with the cameraman and with the editor, but I had a lot of time to write books. And before I knew it, I just started writing. And I ended up reading, believe it or not, 3 books in the last 4 months, 3 full books.
I'll tell you what, good job, because I had a chance because somebody worked for a printing company and they wanted to actually write a book that I wanted to write about gold digging. I'm like, dude, I can't do that. I'm not the guy. I have not that attention span to write a freaking book.
It's kind of hard.
But I thought about one thing. It's like if I make my videos, like if the book's supposed to be this big, it would end up this big. So I never did it because if you write a book, you got to be like, number one, really articulate of what you say and how you put it. And I just don't know how to put that stuff in a book form. It's just not. If I could sit there and talk on tape and have somebody go and type it all out, it'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be the best way.
Outlines are your best friend. That's one thing I've learned from the movie business too. All of our stuff is unscripted, but it doesn't mean I'm not organizing what we're doing from day to day with an outline.
Oh, exactly. You got to.
Yeah. And my books were the same way. I started off with the outline. Before I knew, the outline turned into chapters. Because it's nonfiction, things that I'm passionate about that I've been doing for all these years, I just started typing and it worked out.
See, one of the best things I always liked about doing my videos is I would put up, you put up your tripod and you walk towards it. And then when you walk by, it's like a TV show. Then you turn around and then it shows you walking past and going to the left. And then it comes up and shows. I always like that part of video, which I've been out of that for a couple of years. I haven't tried to do that again, but I still want to go back to that same way of making you feel like you're actually watching something on TV.
Yeah.
That's cool to me.
Yeah.
So what I want to know what some of these treasures are in Utah that you guys are looking for.
Oh man, what treasures are not in Utah?
Really? Is there that many in Utah?
Oh,
hey, you better watch out. He's going to start. He's going to start asking you where they at.
Let's get out the map and we'll show you.
My house is protected with security alarm cameras. You won't get to my files.
GPS coordinates. That's all. No, seriously, there really is a lot of treasures in Utah, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of things, Spanish, old Spanish stuff, things that are older than that, things with the early Mormons and the army that came in to kind of watch over them. There's a lot of stuff. And then, you get closer to our time. You've got stuff from the Prohibition era. You got the trains coming through here. There's just all kinds of stuff. It's
what's really funny about Utah that I found out. If you watch all the Western movies, you never heard one bad guy said, "We're going to Utah and robbing." Never.
True.
You never heard that ever in your life.
That is true. That is actually a really good point. I love old Western movies. I've been watching. My dad was a John Wayne fan. In fact, when my dad was a baby or an infant, my grandfather was a sergeant major at the Marine Corps base when they made what was the movie? Something Iwo Jima. John Wayne was in that movie, and because my grandfather was a sergeant major, they ended up using him to kind of help the director come up with a storyline to make that story real for the people who are actually in the Korean War and stuff. So John Wayne held my dad when he was an infant, and so I grew up. John Wayne is the best, and so I watched every movie. But you're right; it's always Arizona or New Mexico.
I know, but you guys understand, since you're doing this, you're going to open up Utah to a whole new thing of swing. So
be careful of that.
Well, I'm just saying. If you yell gold and diamonds, they're going to go.
Yeah.
And Todd, do you guys think it will, honestly? Do you think that it might stir something up?
It's going to bring awareness.
Yeah,
for sure.
and we really want that. Not necessarily people out looking for treasure, but we want to get people outside, get them excited about something.
Well, Todd, you can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose.
I know. I mean, but we've got so many places to look, so many stories to just in our area, and then you start spreading out, and we could have a rush of people here and still not meet anybody up in the mountains.
And remember, we are our own producers, directors. We show what we're comfortable in showing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I don't want to say it in a way that these aren't significant stories. If you watch episode 2 and 3, that's where, number 1 is where we introduce each member of the team, and we kind of give a background of what we're planning on doing. Number 2 and 3 is that one location. And so I don't want anybody to feel like that these are, locations that were off on the side of the freeway or something, and we just kind of came up with a story. That was a real true story.
And that's okay. I will take whatever video you give me, and I will find those mountains, and I know
that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
There's guys looking for, oh dang it, shoot, Finnegan's. Is that right, Tim?
Finn.
Finn's treasure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Somebody goes, oh, I was looking here, but I was close, but it just detailed off. And there's going to be one guy that goes, did you look behind you? I'm going to find out what she does. It's right over it's over the rock under the stuff, I always thought that was funny. You always got to be careful about showing that stuff.
Yeah. That's
I have 2 questions for you guys. First one is, what type of metal detectors do you guys use? Brands, models. And second, which one have you found the Mormon coin? The Mormon coin.
That's my bucket list. That's number 1 on the bucket list.
That one is valuable too. Have you seen what those are going for now, Tom?
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's seen what they're going for.
Never even heard of them, so it's got to be worth something.
They're very valuable. I've seen them sell in auctions here in Utah anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 even.
Okay, not to be getting somebody mad or this and that, blah blah blah, but what the hell is a Mormon coin?
Back when the Mormons first came here, they gathered up what little gold they had and eventually minted their own coins.
Their own currency.
Yeah, and they would send them back east to help pay for other Mormons to make the trip out here. So
They're
and they've got what 5, 10s, and $20 gold coins. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're solid gold. I mean, if you look them up, just do a Google search on Mormon gold coins. They're pretty valuable because, again, it's something that is mostly only found in Utah. You know, if it was a Morgan dollar, silver dollar, you found those all over, or you can find them all over the United States if you're lucky enough, right? But with the Mormon coin, that was more around, and a lot of people don't know this, but when you look at the map today and you see Utah, Nevada used to be in the Utah territory even up until the late 1800s. The LDS, the Mormons, had both of those states in their territory before it became a part of the United States. So it's not just Utah. A lot of that Mormon treasure and stories are also in a large part of Nevada as well.
Well, you know what? I want to thank you guys because, number one, I've never heard of a Mormon coin. And now, okay, I guess they're out there. They're freaking gold.
That's right. Yep.
I tell you, I've got a question for each one of you guys.
Dennis, go ahead. Yeah.
And it's one of the questions that my question I ask everyone when they come on the show. What has been, if you've had one, your scariest moment that you've ever out, whether you're prospecting or treasure hunting or whatever? It had to go to you, Todd and Tim.
Well, really one of my scariest moments is I had been spending a lot of time up in the Uinta Mountains chasing down the Lost Roads mines. There's many of them.
Look that up too.
Yeah, I had noticed a car kind of following me around a little bit, an old truck. And we met up, had a meeting, a treasure hunters meeting at a local cafe. And this old Indian guy come up and they said, you know, this is so-and-so. He's one of the ones that guards the mines. And I'm like, okay. And they introduced me and he says, oh yeah, I know you. I've seen you up there. And that really kind of creeped me out because, you know, there's been people that have died looking for this treasure, and to know that, you know, I was being watched and probably didn't really notice was really scary.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of, it would freak you out a little bit.
It is creepy.
Yeah. Tim, what about you?
Yeah, as Todd was talking, I was like, I wanted to mention when you watch her series and you see the gun on my hip, not necessarily for the Cougars and the Bears. In fact, those guys leave me alone more often than what people do, to be honest with you. We've had bears come into our camp, sit down next to the campfire while the Dutch oven is going, and that black bear just sits there like, you going to share with me? You know, people are the
Tell
ones.
him no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
People are a little bit different, you know. But anyways,
you got to worry more about people.
I still love those videos. You see somebody feeding a bear and then they put the bag in their pocket. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. He knows where you put the bag.
All right. Now here's one I got to ask you guys just to piss Scott off. What do you guys think of Oak Island?
You know, I've remember reading about Oak Island in, I think it was The Boy's Life, the old Scout magazine, back when I was young, and I've been not following it, but interested in it for a long time, and I find it really interesting, but the show drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Have you ever found a piece of wood?
I have.
You're one up on them.
And a nail. I found a nail once too.
Hey, I found a horseshoe too with a nail.
But on the other hand, is that something that would interest you guys? You know?
Oh yeah.
If they said, "Hey, would you guys come out here and share some knowledge?" Would you guys be like, "I'm in"?
Oh yeah. Just for the fun of doing it, just to get out there and see it, and be a part of that. Yeah, I'd
Right.
definitely
I
go.
would rather see you guys going through Kentucky with 3 metal detectors finding freaking bullets and cannonballs.
Well, you guys,
Just telling you.
you guys are.
That would be fun.
Aren't you guys kind of sort of? Is that Blind Frog Ranch? Is that it's in Utah, ain't it?
Yeah, that's up in up the foothills of the Uinta Mountains.
Because I remember, I think I watched it like once or twice, and they actually thought they found some Mormon coins.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know? And they turned out they were fake or something. But
Yeah.
when you said that, it came to me what they was. But
Hey, you guys, you know what? Treasures are treasures, but do you guys find? I mean, I know you probably search creeks and stuff. How many arrowheads do you guys actually find?
Ooh.
We
We found quite a few. I mean,
yeah,
hold on.
we have seen several.
He goes, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I got 49 right here.
And Todd, you have seen several.
Here's my Morgan. I just found the Morgan silver dollar, but hold on. What is that?
Okay.
1872.
And we
Nice.
had one of our members when we were up there doing episode 2 found a really nice black obsidian arrowhead.
That's
It
from
was
Nevada.
pretty. Oh, it was.
Yeah,
it
that's
was
Nevada.
pretty. Yeah.
oh,
So
nice.
it made a trip. But
Yeah, no doubt, man. That's Nevada stuff right there.
we've found a lot of native stuff.
Oh,
Just
cool.
out wandering around.
Yeah. I thought I do have a safe. So everybody knows I have a safe. And I did have an arrowhead and an old bronze coin from the 1600s in this
nice.
drawer. I must have put it back in the safe the other day, but I thought I was going to show you guys. They're
Oh,
pretty
cool.
cool. And they come, sometimes they're small, sometimes they're like this. Sometimes you'll find bigger ones.
Yeah, you
We've
get those
even
little bird
seen-
points.
Yeah. And we've even found the hammerhead, like the rock that they grinded down and they made to a point and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff like that we found. So
Find some cool stuff, obviously.
Now there was a question from another guy in Utah here, GoPro Unlimited. He was asking if you guys know Terry Carter, and
yeah.
if you have, I'm gonna just kind of play off that question. Have you guys ever met up with him or chased any of those treasures he talks about? Or
Yeah, I've met Terry a long time ago, and we keep in touch with him, and I like Terry. He's a good guy.
yeah.
I don't think I've ever been out with Terry. Just not for any reason, just never had the chance or whatever.
Yeah, I haven't actually been out with Terry either. You'll be surprised. A lot of the Utah treasure hunters, and there's a lot out there. A lot of us work independently, or we work in different crowds and different groups. And but a lot of things that Terry Carter has been bringing forward to the public, a lot of those are Utah legends or surrounding the state of Utah. And yeah, to answer your question, a lot of those stories that he's brought up or he's shown to the public, we either know about or we've gone out for some of them ourselves. They're good stories, and they are a secret if you're not in that treasure hunting world, I guess you can say. But a lot of us know about them, and some of us go. There's so many, like what we were talking about. There literally is so many. Terry Carter could be over 10 miles away from us working on one treasure, and we'll be working on another one. We're only 10 miles away from each other. So,
Right. So are you guys like just working on one specific treasure, numerous ones? How much time do you dedicate to each one? Stuff like that.
multiple
Yeah.
treasures.
Multiple
And we're going to
We've
show our
got a lot of
strength.
irons in the fire.
Right.
We want to show our strength. We like what Todd said, we haven't really brushed on that, but we want to inspire people. This is our passion. This is something that me and Todd have been doing for the most of our adult life.
Right.
And I can probably speak for Todd as well, as when we're not at work, when we're not hanging out in the living room with the families, we're researching. We're you know what I mean? Like this is a nonstop life. And now that we're filming it, we're twice as busy, So yeah.
Say.
Inspire people and get people out.
Okay. So now each treasure, how does it come to you? Does somebody tell you about a treasure like blah, blah, blah? There's this treasure I heard about. And then do you guys take it from there and start hitting, I don't know, where do you go to research? The libraries? What?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I've been doing this for 35, 40 years. I've got files and CDs and thumb drives just full of stories, treasure leads, things like that. And we'll go through and pick some that we think might be interesting. You know, there's some that are a good story, but it just wouldn't be a good show.
Okay.
And so we'll go through and sit down and decide on a story. Yeah, this one's got some legs, or this one is interesting. Let's go out and look. And our process depends on how much of the story we got and if we can prove or disprove it. And we want to get out there and show people that, yeah, we've dug into this, we've looked at it, and it just went nowhere.
Right.
Because that happens all the time. And we want this to be as authentic and real as possible. So there are some that we get to a certain point and say, okay, we're stuck for now. We'll continue on. We'll do some more research and we'll come back to this. Mm-hmm. Or we'll say, this one just doesn't have any legs. There's nothing to it. Let's move on. Mm-hmm. And so that's really what we want. We want to show what it's really like, not build it up to some great big thing and then have to, I don't know, do something to make it end well.
Right.
Because you know, it doesn't always end well.
Right. I was gonna say it can't always end finding the treasure, right?
Yeah.
And if we wanted to be in the entertainment industry, that's what we would do. We're actually in the treasure hunting industry. We're trying to educate, mentor the treasure hunting community, the prospecting community. Well, I look at it as all the same. You know, I was out not that long ago prospecting. I'm a treasure hunter. I'm out there prospecting, looking for sources and taking assays and sending those in to look for gold and silver sources because I knew the Spanish were in the area. Where is that gold and silver coming from? So again, we're very diverse. It's all treasure hunting. And so we want to be real, because if I guarantee you, if we're claiming we're real treasure hunters and we end up making a series that starts feeling like some of these treasure hunting shows on TV what we've been watching for years, and it's like, where is this going? You know, people are going to sense that. And we're not going to be authentic. We're going to be in the entertainment business instead of the treasure hunting business.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Todd, you say you do gold prospecting?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. What do you use? Like equipment? You got like a dredge? You got high bankers? What do you?
I've got right now 2 claims in central Utah over in the Hanksville area, and those we can run a small sluice on them a lot of the year. There's not a lot of water, so you know we have to kind of back up the little stream we got and get to get any kind of water to flow. High banker works really good on there, and that I've got sluice boxes and I've got high bankers. Dry washer works really good out there. I don't have one right now, but I have in the past. So nothing big, you know. I don't do big.
So you don't
big scale, large scale stuff. It's all, you know, handheld or small motorized
what's the
equipment.
Biggest piece of gold you found? Like a gram, an ounce?
I found one that was almost an ounce down in Arizona back in the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, I did good that year. I found enough. I bought a Jeep and I bought.
Now wait, Dennis. Notice he said back in the 80s.
Back in the 80s. I've found some good pieces out in Nevada, and the ones on my claim, I've seen and 1 ounce nugget that's come out of there, but it wasn't me.
Hey, where's that at?
It's up by Hanksville.
We're not afraid of throwing names like that out, because I guarantee you, if you go to Hanksville, you're going to say, even if I send you a pinpoint right to Hanksville, you're going to get there and you're going to do like a 360 and go, I'm out. I don't even know what he could be talking
You never
about.
see, hey, you never see nobody in a ghillie suit with a metal detector, big guy.
True.
You won't see me all day. You won't see me at night.
So what kind of detector are you using? I don't know if Rob asked you that or not.
Yeah, I was asking. That
Yeah,
question.
we've got a lot of different detectors. We've got a lot of Garrett's. We use a lot of Garrett's machines.
We are sponsored by Garrett. The show is sponsored by Garrett. Of all of season 1, that's all you're going to see. And they were very helpful, very great sponsors. I mean, they gave us the Goldmaster 24K, several of them, you know, the AT Max, the AT Gold. We have a lot of equipment for them. And you know what? We've been putting them to the test all of season 1.
Yeah.
I mean, those things are thrown in the back of the truck. They're zip tied to the UTV and we're doing 60 miles down the road. You know, Todd might be in a hole and we'll throw it down to him and he'll catch it, or it might even drop.
I can catch it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I mean, I know you're spot. You don't want to throw him in the butt, but is that your favorite machine, or do you have a favorite machine?
Yes, it's their favorite machine, Scott.
Yes, it is. No, as we get more comfortable with them, I have no problems with them. They've been good machines.
Well, I can tell you this, 1997 was when I bought my first metal detector. I was, I believe, 18 years old. I ended up buying
97?
97.
And you were 18.
And I was 18, yep, because I got married when I was 19 in 1998. So I was 18. I ended up buying, I believe it was, I know it was a Garrett metal detector, and I believe I paid around $250 for it. And I got to tell you, that lower end Garrett metal detector stayed in my garage for almost 15 years after that. Sure. It was actually a great metal detector, and I found a lot of stuff with it. So Garrett metal detectors are here from the US. That was another thing that we liked. And you know what? They're a great company, a very good company. I reached out to all the metal detecting companies. I can tell you, when I started giving them ideas of our show and some content of what to expect, Garrett was the first one. Within the first 48 hours, we're already talking contracts. They spoke up before anybody else, and they offered a lot of great stuff. And the more and more I started thinking about it, I'm like, you know, and I'm not going to mention some of the other brands. All of them make good detectors. I'm not going to lie. And I've used a lot of the metal detectors that have come out in the market in the last couple of years. But Garrett, they're easy to use. Yeah. And I love the cost of a Garrett versus some of the other ones that are a lot more money. And yeah, some of them have different bells and whistles. Some of them have fancier displays. But I really think for the buck, Garrett knows how to make a great metal detector.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys as treasure hunters, do you guys stick with the more moderate models that's like what we call really affordable? Or do you guys go to the higher end because you find different stuff, different places?
All the above.
I mean,
oh yeah, both. We've got a large selection. Just the everyday use ones is usually the AT Max.
The Apex.
Yeah. Things that are light, easy
are
to
those
carry.
are those what you'd call coin shooters?
Yeah, they're not like gold, or they're good relic, they're a good coin shooter. We do have like you said, the coin mat or the gold master. And yeah, we've
you know, my brain is got a big. What about that bigger machine? Now I can't. Why? Oh, the Eagle Eye, the GTI 2500 Eagle Eye. We got that whole package, and that's actually been proving to be very good. I was doing
deep seeking.
Yeah, I was doing some testing with that, and I'm not kidding you guys. And now I can't speak for little pieces of gold. You know, I haven't been able to test that yet, but we were digging 3-foot holes, 3-foot deep holes, and burying iron and, you know, things like that. And that GTI 2500 with the Eagle Eye, the treasure hound attachment was picking those up. So I know, again, I've used just about every metal detector on the market in the last couple of years, and I yet am waiting to find something that can pinpoint that deep. And that treasure hound Eagle Eye did that. And I was extremely happy with that. And for the type of treasure hunting we do, we do it a little bit differently when it comes to metal detecting. You know, we'll get to an area, we'll find a structure, and then we'll have like Mark Hoover. By the way, he said hi to everybody. He couldn't make it tonight. Mark Hoover is very well known in the metal detecting community, and so is Todd. And these two, when we find a structure, I start doing my investigation. How old is this? How, you know, what is it for? Todd and Mark grab their metal detectors and they start looking for anything. And we're looking for modern day trash to let us know if someone's been there recently, maybe other treasure hunters, right? We're also looking for relics, period, to the structure. Because maybe it's
even a bottle dump would be good.
Right. Anything like that. They all all tells us clues of who's been
now
there.
There's a Garrett metal, it goes underwater. Do you guys do that at all or no?
Not yet. You won't see us do it yet. Yes, in the past we were. In fact, we were down in Arizona in the Superstition Mountains. We went to Canyon Lake. If I don't know if anybody knows where that's at. I was born and raised in Phoenix. I knew about the lost Dutch.
I'm in Arizona right now.
I've known about those stories. I can't get Arizona out of my blood. I still love Arizona and the stories. But anyways, we were there with the scuba diver and looking for a specific treasure, not just going in Canyon Lake itself and hoping to find something. We were trying to track down a specific treasure and an idea that might have got us closer to something very significant. So, and we're hoping to show that strength in most likely season 2. Mark Hoover is certified. So we have the equipment we need to send him down in the water if that's where the evidence and clues are taking us. If they don't take us there, we're not going to film it just because it's interesting. We're going to go where the clues are telling us.
Okay. Well, you know what? You guys got the right opportunity. You got the right time. You got the right push. I think you guys, you know what? Maybe you guys you're going to come out on top. It's going to be cool.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It is. Thank you for that. It's been a lot of work, and
yeah, it is. I know it is.
yeah, it's nice to hear that kind of stuff, and I know the guys like hearing it too. I've been telling a lot of people in the community lately, just imagine what it's like to get in front of that camera, and we don't have a script with a bulletin board, and, you know, behind the camera say this. These guys are being themselves, you know.
It's funny because on my stuff, there's no retries. If you mess up, deal with it. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed up. Let's go back to it. I don't even edit that out. We don't care no more.
Well, that's real. And that's what we're trying to show. Realism, you know.
That's awesome, man. That's what I like to hear right there.
That's what we want to see. We want to see realism. It's like when we watch gold prospecting videos. We want to see people dredging for gold, and either they're not finding it or they're finding it.
Yeah.
And we want to see what it takes to find it. Not like you said.
And you know it's really relatively funny because what we're talking about is because the first 2 years of Gold Rush and the first 2 years of Bering Sea Gold, I loved more than anything because that was the real crap. They didn't have anything else. They didn't know what they were coming into, so they had to take the real stuff.
Yeah,
that was the real stuff.
You're exactly right. I couldn't have said that any better. When we grabbed our camera guy, believe it or not, I gave him all my codes and passwords to all Discovery Plus, National Geographic. And I told him, sit down. I gave him a list of Gold Rush and stuff, all these different TV shows. And I said, I want you to kind of see the style that they're doing. And we're going to come up with our own style, kind of mix them all in, right? Well, I told him, don't go past season 3, 4, 5 of any of these because all of a sudden they're not real.
It's
the
drama.
First couple episodes are real.
They went to Jerry Springer drama.
Yeah.
It's all there was to it. Oh my God, shut it down. I'm like, really? You didn't see that thing happening like 10 minutes before? There's smoke coming out of it.
Yeah.
Once you see smoke, you didn't look at it.
I got a question from the chat room. All right. Razor wants to know, since you guys are Garrett guys, does Garrett make a good beach detector? What one would be the cheapest, best saltwater detector?
I'm gonna give me 1 second. Sorry, I have so many. I know I'm gonna look it up real quick, make sure I get it right.
That's a good question.
Go
That
ahead.
is a good question, and I will.
And
I
can
use the
also
18
help
Max
out
on the
too.
beaches here, but they're not saltwater. They're freshwater, little lake beaches. Works great. Unfortunately, we're pretty far away from the ocean for me to have done
Well,
much. So
White
I don't know.
Gold's
I
got-
don't know.
White Gold's got saltwater stuff, so
Yeah.
I'm a beach detectorist, and one of my questions was going to be next is, do you do a lot of lost treasure hunting, shipwrecks? Because I know a spot right now where there's probably still about a million or so in coins, silver coins, but you just can't get to it during certain times of the year.
Yeah, that's one that we've talked about. We'd really like to get into,
I can tell you
especially
this.
with Mark
Yeah.
being our Florida guy.
This is how crazy treasures are. And in my first book, this is what I tried to help people understand. I call it in my book, treasures around every corner. If you know what you're looking for and where to look for, and you have the right tools. For instance, I went down to Cancun with some friends a couple of years ago. So we're in Cancun with our families at a what do you call it? All-inclusive resort. We weren't planning on really leaving, right? I did have one day planned for Chichen Itza because why not? If you're there in that area, you better go see the Mayan ruins. Sure. Well, I was making this YouTube video about a certain metal detector and a certain brand, and one of the room service guys come in with my breakfast. He couldn't speak very much English, and luckily I knew a little bit of Spanish. And when he looked at the metal detector, he goes, "Where did you get that?" And I go, "Well, we're from North America." And he's like, "How much did you pay for that?" And I go, "About $2,500 with this coil and these add-ons. I'm about $3,100 into that one." And he's like, "Wow, we need to get you guys back here." And I go, "Why is that?" And he goes, "Us locals know about a lot of sunken ships in this area, just 10 miles or so out, and it's actually in shallow area where we are diving and we are pulling up artifacts left and right, but we don't have devices like what you have right here on the coffee table." And I ended up getting his information, but that's just one example of, you break out your gold pan or your metal detector or the old treasure map, and people just start looking at it going, "Hey, I got a story," and they're everywhere.
Hey, why don't you bring one of those boats that's got the double down tubes where they put the full blast, it just blows it off.
The blowers up. Yeah.
Good idea.
It only takes 5-10 minutes, bro. And you can see everything.
Good idea. Yeah.
So Timothy, were you thinking for the saltwater? Were you thinking of like the Sea Hunter Mark II or the ATX or one of those machines? Because they work good on salt.
Yes, I would say that that's probably your best one. The price is right, and salt is tricky. I can tell you that I've been doing a lot of Mexico trips, and a lot of times we're right there on the beach. And I thought a lot of these high dollar metal detectors would work great in the salt water, and they don't. The salt water changes everything. So with that Sea Hunter Mark II, I would say the price is right, and that is probably your best one out of Garrett metal detectors for right now on the beach. Although that being said, I have been watching a lot of people on YouTube using the Garrett 18 Max in areas like that, and they are doing very well, as but the Sea Hunter is made for the salt water.
Yeah, I took my AT Pro to the Great Salt Lake and it went haywire.
You know what's really funny? If you could make the Garrett Carrot like waterproof, you could just go down, pinpoint whatever you wanted to find.
That's true. And those are
I'm
good
not saying you're going to
pinpoints.
cover a lot of ground, but hey, you covered enough.
Now, Tim, we got a question from Ed Marvin in the chat room. Ed.
Oh yeah.
He said, "Are you guys going to do more on the Butch Cassidy and the Wild Bunch?"
Ooh, that was a good story. I can tell you, yes, that is already in the works. A lot of what we did on the Travel Channel, maybe that's what he's referring to. We wrote some blogs about it too, but that story was not dead to us. There's a lot of politics when it comes to major networks like that. So there's that didn't go anywhere because we didn't have more information. We actually have a lot more. And I think a good story from the old Western days, especially from Butch Cassidy, would be right up Uncharted Expeditions what am I trying to say? You know, in our road, in our
Right. That's in your top 10.
path. That's a great story.
Do you
Great.
have a top 5 or something of what you're looking for? That, you know, like Jesse James treasures, like he said, Butch Cassidy. Do you have a top 5?
Jesse James has got supposedly some history out here.
Mm-hmm.
The Lost Roads mines is a big one, and it's one that I started out with and have been looking for, you know, chasing around for 40 years. Let's see. Yeah, any of the KGC stuff ties into Jesse James. So yeah.
To add into that, you know, coming from Southern Arizona, Todd's right, all that stuff, and then I'll add additional stuff. Coming from Arizona, like I did, I have been following a path from Tucson, or basically the border of Mexico, all the way up to Idaho. And I can see that the Spanish, during their conquest from the earlier or later 1500s all the way until the mid 1800s was in those states. And so there's a lot of Spanish stories, but what some people may or may not understand about Spanish stories is you got to really understand the root of what the Spanish were doing in the Western states. They were conquerors and they were plunderers. They didn't just come up to, let's say, northern Utah because they were hoping to find something. I guarantee you, out of all my research that I've done, it was very strategic. They would go, you know, it started with the Incas and the Aztecs when they conquered those civilizations. And the people that lived outside of those big cultures were doing a lot of finger pointing. You know, at that time, everybody was afraid of the people with metal and with swords and stuff like that, the native people in this area. So a lot of them started pointing the Spanish away from their homes, and they started pointing up north. And as the Spanish went on, you know, they got people, translators, and they were following a treasure path. If people know that or not, they were literally following the path of ancient civilizations and cultures that have been around here for thousands of years. And so when you hear that the Spanish were here, it's not just Spanish mines. It's not just a buried cache that they had to bury in a hurry. There's a lot more to it. We're finding evidence of lost underground cities in the Western states. We're finding evidence of ancient cultures that are not in the historical books and any history books that show that the Spanish heard about these ancient stories that have been passed down even by the mighty Mayas and the Aztecs and the Incas, and they were up here in this area looking for that kind of stuff. So there's so many stories that come with that. It's not just Spanish, it's Native Indian. And then, you know, you got your Western stories. Coming from Arizona, we all know about Tombstone, Wyatt Earp. Well, I can give you guys a hint. Look at Prescott, Arizona. There is a lot more going on there than what people think. And I talk about that in my book as well. Don't always go after the big, huge story like we all have heard of the Lost Dutchman. Yeah, it's a very famous story. I've known people who have not come back looking for that story. It's an intriguing story, but how many people look for that lost mine every year and have been since the late 1800s?
Right.
Hundreds of thousands of people. So a lot of people are missing the other stories. And if you start looking more towards northern Arizona, I think everybody would be very surprised at what they start finding in the way of lost history and old Western outlaw abandoned history.
Oh, pretty cool.
There's a little
now it's not something we can go look for, but are you familiar with the story of Chief Tabiona in the Hayuintas?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, I spent that used to be my stomping grounds in the summer. I spent a lot of time up that way. And I don't know if you guys are you're probably familiar also with Lightning Ridge.
Yeah.
You just watch that lightning just hit that thing over and over, and you're just like, oh man, I wish I could get up there.
Yeah, I had a Bronco that the brakes went out coming down off of Lightning Ridge off the south side. That was good times.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, those were actually the stories that I grew up with at the time. You know, when I was living in Salt Lake City, West Valley, actually, not too far away from you, around the time that I really started getting into metal or treasure hunting. And a lot of those stories, the Lightning Ridge, the Lost Roads mines, the, Moon Lake, all those different areas were definitely very much talked about and written about.
Yeah, we used to have property right there in Hannah.
Oh, wow. That's a good area.
Nice little area. Yeah.
Yeah, good area.
Interesting. So let me see. How often a week do you guys try to get out? You guys try to get out every day, or what's your?
I wish.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have jobs.
Day jobs, yeah.
We have jobs, and the further we find, the deeper we get into. Now we have Treasures in America. We got Uncharted Expedition. We're filming. We're doing so many different things. Our lives are surrounded by these kind of things. But unfortunately, we don't get out in the field as much as what we want to because of that. But again, you'd be surprised how much information I dig up by staying not out in the field. Out in the field, this crew doesn't even go out in the field unless we have very good evidence that there might be something that we can at least find clues to prove or disprove that story. So there's a lot of time spent in the libraries. I've been down in the city offices going through, I'm not even kidding you, it's so cool here in St. George. There's old books from the 1800s, middle 1800s that are this thick, and you open them up and they're just yellow, crispy pages. And in there, it has every mine prospect since, what was it, 1872 when the miners' law came out and stuff like that. There's so many records. So even though being out in the field is fun,
have you not noticed that people want to watch like 10-second videos rather than learn anything?
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. Guys, my stuff, most of my videos could go to 30 minutes, but if you want to learn it, I got to go the extra mile. So
a lot of people today just don't have the patience to sit through more than 30 seconds of anything.
I do all the programming for our websites. And
you said, I'm like, well, you didn't listen to all of it, evidently.
I do all the programming, and I keep track of all the marketing, the breadcrumbs of where, this is being shared, what's being talked about. And still today, they say if you cannot grab someone's attention within the first 8 seconds, and that's even going down, you're done. It doesn't matter how hard you work on it. If you can't grab their attention, if they're not a true follower, you've lost them.
Yeah, that's true. That's what it seems like, definitely. Yeah.
Someone asked in the YouTube chat, said, asking them, do they know about the lost gold ledge? It's not anything I've heard about. Have you heard anything about that?
I have.
There's a ton of stories about different lost gold ledges. There's, Utah and Nevada.
Find out if he's talking about southern Utah.
He might be. I'm not.
We've actually had
shows.
Sure. We've actually had shows about that, I believe.
There's several in Nevada. There's a couple in Utah. Utah's a funny state because all the states around us are really well known for their gold.
See, everybody tells me.
And Utah doesn't have that reputation, and we do have a lot of gold and silver and other minerals here, but we're just not well known for it. It's not a big thing.
Yeah, I have a running joke. We call it no gold in Utah. I always tell everybody, I like, go to any state around us if you want to get better gold.
There's none in Utah.
You know what they say though, gold's where you find it.
Yeah. I can tell you this, there's a lot of silver. There's a lot of iron, there's a lot of copper, and we all know that where you find one mineral, you find many other ones. So the gold count might be smaller in percentage of other surrounding states, but if you're finding one, you're going to find more. And I know that by the assaying that I have done throughout all these years, trying to track down the gold source and silver sources in this area, trying to guess where the Spanish may have mined. And so I can tell you with those assays, the parts per second or whatever they call it, Too bad I don't have it pull up my computer because I can show you. We're finding titanium, silver, gold. We're finding all kinds of stuff.
Okay, but I'm going to say where the Spanish actually mined, I don't believe that's where you want to go right now. I mean, yeah, the gold was there, but where they leave off? And then by the others, the copper, the steel, the stuff like that. Come on, it's got to pay. Gold's just a byproduct at that point.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you guys are in the right. I mean, you are right. The minerals, everything's there, but is there going to be that one pocket that's going to be, oh my gosh, just we'll cover this up with mud every night?
Yeah, the big mother load.
Yeah,
we'll cover it. We'll cover this with dirt. Nobody will ever see it. I'll come back tomorrow to dig it. Yeah, nobody will ever notice my truck being there every day.
now,
that's how every lost treasure story starts.
I covered.
You get it and you go home.
Yeah, and I couldn't remember where I found it at. That's how it always winds up. So, if you guys heard of a great treasure, say in Indiana, and you did some research and you thought you narrowed it down, would that send you guys into other states and stuff looking for treasures?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
I hope to God.
Okay.
No.
I didn't know if you guys would just stick into the Utah thing.
No,
and really we've been kind of filming what we've been doing for a long time, but when we got down and got serious about it, we wanted to stay for the first little bit close so that we could work on what we're doing, work on our approach, work on our camera skills, that kind of thing. We have always planned on branching out, broadening our area really every season. We want to just keep going farther and farther out and getting, some of these other treasures, looking for other things. But yeah, we're definitely up to get out of this area if we find something that we find interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, Todd's right. And that's where all of you guys can help us, everybody. You guys are helping us right now.
Hey, brother, I will help you right now. Arizona. Pick a story. Go ahead. Find one. I want you to find one. I don't care. You don't have to find many. Just find one.
Like with our sponsors have a big part of what do we do in the next season? Is there a next season? So I've been telling everybody we're out promoting our show because there's a couple of different things that may or may make or break this show. If you like what you see, if you know Garrett or you see him at a show, someone who worked for him, let them know that you watched Uncharted Expedition. Same with Maglite. Maglite sponsored us. Yeti sponsored us. We actually have some good brands, and I can tell you those brands right now are those companies have been emailing us and they're already asking, so what about season 2? And it's already in their mind right now. What everybody's doing is sitting back going, is there a need for this? Is the audience saying that the positivity on these shows are high enough to where it's obvious that people want more? So go to YouTube and, give it a thumbs up or, any kind of support like that. It really doesn't take more than just a second while you're already there.
Right.
Show some support. And I think you guys would be very surprised what this team knows. We haven't even begun to, roll up our sleeves and flex the muscle yet. We started off with a small budget and we are doing things the way that we think is fit for now, but there's a lot more in the works.
So is your main focus on finding something at one time in one big lump, or is it finding something that might lead you to something more? Is it or vice versa, or you just
both? You'd be surprised how many multiple stories are connected. In all these years, I'll find a story that's 2 hours north or west or east, wherever it is, and it actually, I can track down that this so-and-so person or whatever, during this time actually was at both locations and knew about this or knew about that. So by going to multiple locations, we want to show people that treasure hunting is not just about that buried cash, maybe Spanish gold. It's about I'll give you guys a teaser. episode 5 is we go out to a mining area that most people do not go out to. We got a hold of some information from some old timers. That's another clue, guys. Do not discard these old timers. They have stories passed down for generations that are disappearing. And sometimes that old man is the one that really gives you what you needed to put that together. But anyways, we go out to this area, and I'm not going to say a whole lot more, except for a lot of people didn't know that that area was rich in minerals. And in the 1800s, there's mines everywhere. It's like Swiss cheese out there. You guys will be surprised what we found. So it's not just treasure hunting. It's the old Western stories, you know, Butch Cassidy, the old mining town that people didn't know about. We're trying to expand and show that there's a lot out there.
Okay, very cool. Now, another question from the chat room. Our buddy Ken wondered, have you guys done anything in Idaho?
Yes.
As
Right
a
next
team,
door.
we haven't, but we've all been up there. I had a couple of claims up in Idaho that we used to go to when I lived in northern Utah. We sold them when we moved down here, just too far to go. But I know Tim spent a lot of time up there. So we've
Silver
got
City,
story.
Idaho
We got
City.
stories, and yeah.
There's a lot of outlaw loot.
Up in Idaho, right?
Yeah, up in Idaho. There's a lot of stagecoach robberies. Some of them were coming up from Nevada into Idaho. Some of them were coming from Idaho and ended up in Nevada. Yeah, that Idaho is a great state. I spent a lot of time there.
Where was your claims at in Idaho?
They were up by Rocky Bar, up Featherville area, up on the South Fork. They weren't on the South Fork, but up by the South Fork of the Boise River.
Yeah, I've got some claims up there in the South Fork Clearwater River.
That's a pretty area. I love it. It was beautiful up there.
Hey,
Heck
where's
yeah.
that at?
4 claims and 2 gold mines.
All right, now here's the big question. Are you guys real close to finding some certain treasure? You don't have to say what one, but are you close to maybe finding one?
Man,
It's
I
not
felt
Oak Island,
close
Tim.
for a long time.
I know it's not.
We found a piece of wood, and we're pretty confident about that.
Got the team coming in.
We actually, even as a team, like me and Todd have been talking about stories for years now. And to be honest with you, before we let the cameras roll, we would sometimes end up in the same location. Like, let's say if we did 10 trips during the summer, we might end up going back to the same location twice. But every time we go out, we get closer, we find another clue. This team is very good at that. And by watching our series, you'll see how, reading signs, symbols, rock monuments, finding structures and stuff like that just gets us closer and closer. So the deeper we go, we start finding more. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't have more than 2 to 5 days at a time. So we'll go deeper, find some evidence, have to come back home, right? So there's a lot of going back to the same sites over and over again and adding new ones as well.
And there's a couple of places that we know we're in the right area, and every time we go back up, the area gets a little smaller. And so we feel like there's a couple places that we're really close to making a really, a real find, a real discovery. And
it's almost like Tim grinds a dredge hole. It always gets smaller.
And don't forget about the lost history, everybody who's listening, you guys in the show too. That lost history, to me, I went back to school for history and anthropology, and I can't even tell you, I thought I was going to work for the government. And I'm only 12 credits away from my degree, and I dropped out because I was discouraged. I realized that I'll put it this way, I didn't want to become a robot and think the same way that everybody else with those degrees feel like. The things I was finding out in the field were not what were in those textbooks that I was learning at school. And so the history itself, bringing things to the public, I'll drop a name, and I don't know if you guys heard about it or not, but look up the lost city of the Grand Canyon. that story alone, I wrote a big blog on it. There's
You can't even get that without a grappling hook. Are you out of your mind?
There's a lot of stories out there. So the history alone, proving, disproving, investigating.
I know, but you're talking about the ruins in the middle of the hill, and that's when the creek was actually up high. And that's so crazy. That's crazy you say that. That's funny.
Yeah, some people look at our blog, and you will see from treasuresamerica.com. I titled it the underground, or the lost underground city of the Grand Canyon, or Egyptian city is what I put in the subtitles. And I have a newspaper clipping from the Arizona Gazette, which is still one of the biggest newspapers in Arizona. I have the newspaper. I have the archaeologist who found it. I found out that he was contracted by the Smithsonian to go in that area and explore. This is what we do. We don't just bring artifacts and treasures to the public. We start bringing where some people could say we're right there at the fence of maybe even.
Yeah, but did you guys go? Did you go up to it, or did you come down to it?
Well,
because I know there's ruins right in the middle of the freaking Grand Canyon that you can't get to.
Oh yeah, those aren't these. This is actually on Navajo land, is a no-fly zone that I'm talking about. You can't fly a helicopter, you can't fly a drone. It's on Navajo land. And if you look at the Navajo land surrounding the Grand Canyon, it's gigantic. So I only gave you so much, but I can tell you it's not in the middle of the Grand Canyon. It's on the outskirts. It's actually on a wall that drops down almost 3/4 of a mile deep. There's another clue, 3/4 of a mile deep, and it's on that ledge, and it's not easy to get to. And I guarantee you, unless you have connections with the Navajo Nation and you have some big kahunas, that's going to be a hard story to discover.
Let's go. Come on, man. Why not? All I gotta do is throw a freaking tomahawk.
So of all the treasures you guys are looking for and have looked for, which one's your favorite?
Yeah, that's hard.
Everybody's got a favorite, right?
That's a tough one.
I know it's a tough one.
I've spent so much time on the Lost Roads mines that one has a special place.
Right.
That's probably the Lost Dutchman, just because of the kind of the story and the mystique about it is always been a real favorite.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim?
The more older and older I'm getting, I feel like I'm really leaning towards the old Western history. My second book is all about how I can't even tell you how much it intrigued me. I'm researching as I'm writing. I'm learning new things as I'm writing. That old Western history from the war, all of our ancestors, all of us came from, unless you're native, we all came from Europe or a different area, right? So to learn that history, how I know my ancestors came from Scotland, and then they came into the New York area, and within the first couple of years, they ended up in Idaho, Utah. I'm where my family pretty much came from, originally. And when you start looking at how the Civil War created these bandits, look at Jesse James alone. When you really look at his story and you hear why he got into everything, it starts off with the Civil War. The Civil War started making some pretty good enemies. It depends on if you were from the north or south. And then people started migrating to this area where only native Indians lived. It was a lawless area. And the more and more you look at it, it's fascinating. And I believe there's still a lot of treasures and small caches all over the Western states that are out there waiting to be discovered.
That's the thing. There's a few big ones. There's Victoria Peak. There's some big treasures out there.
Are you talking about caches like the Superstition Mine?
But there's smaller ones everywhere.
Come on, you guys know I'm right. It was a Spanish cache. That's what he found. That's why there's no more gold.
Yeah.
He took everything there was. Like, yeah, I grabbed it.
I actually agree with you on that one. Totally agree. And I think you're right. We have evidence that the Spanish were there in the 1600s around the Superstition Mountains searching like crazy, like crazy.
The Indians found out what gold meant to the white man. They said, okay, you guys, you're out. Now you're out.
Whose land is that? Wasn't that Apache land around the Superstitions?
Yep.
I believe it was Apache Indians.
Yes, it is Apache.
And they had
it still is Apache.
Oh, it still is. That's right. And they had quite a history with the military and the cavalry around that time, didn't they? In the 1800s.
I wonder why.
They caused them some issues.
There was a massacre, a couple massacres in that area.
You guys, why did it cost the Apaches that much discomfort? Oh, well, I don't know, because there was gold on the land. I'm just saying, if you look up half the freaking national parks up the whole West Coast, where are they at? Where the gold's at? Yeah, it is what it is, man. They did this way back then.
He's starting to sound like me, Todd. Look at Yellowstone. Look at Bryce Canyon. Look at Zion's Park. Look at all these national parks. And I guarantee you, if you really don't go to their website and read what the Forest Service or BLM wants you to read about it tourist-wise, go deeper, dig deep, and you'll start seeing that people were there before they became national parks, and there's a reason why they became protected.
Okay. On that note, let's take a quick commercial break.
Commercial?
We'll be right back, everybody, in a couple of minutes, and we'll be right back.
Do you like to mine for gold? Enjoy prospecting a nice crack in the bedrock? Enjoy getting outdoors to camp, fish, hunt, and hike on your public lands? You plan your trip, load the gear, grab the dog, put the family in the truck, and drive off to a locked gate. A sign says you cannot enter or access your own public lands. Mining claims and public land owned by we the people are being designated as off limits by our own government every single day. Are you concerned about the direction our government is going? Are you tired of seeing no access, no entry signs on your lands? We are, and we are fighting back. We are AMRA, America Mining Rights Association, the fastest growing small mining advocacy association in America. AMRA is a 501c3 not-for-profit formed by miners, hunters, off-roaders, retired military men and women to stop the insanity. AMRA was formed to educate, unite, and help the small miners and public land users on their rights given to us by God. Do you want access to great mining claims? For a small tax-deductible donation to their Miners Legal Fund, your family gains access to proven excellent mining claims across America for an entire year. AMRA challenges the USFS, BLM, EPA, and the other agencies intent upon stopping you from enjoying your own lands. You are who pays these people's wages. It is time they listen to us. We need to unite. And that is what AMRA is doing. As you sit here right now, thousands of acres of public lands are being closed, locked, and blocked from use by you. Are you fed up yet? Join us. Get in on this fight and let's restore America to what our families fought and died for. Freedom. Just visit AmericanMiningRights.com. AmericanMiningRights.com. Also, check us out on Facebook at American Mining Rights Association. AmericanMiningRights.com.
In 1858, gold was discovered in the rivers of New Caledonia. This discovery would spark a massive gold rush. Today, the search for gold is much easier, yet still challenging with Dirt Hog Pay Dirt. At Dirt Hog, we pride ourselves on our gold and guaranteed gold amounts. Just visit DirtHogPayDirt.com today and buy yourself a bag of the best pay dirt concentrates on the market. Order with confidence in Canada and North America. DirtHogPayDirt.com, the best gold concentrates on the market, period. Also, be sure to check out our Honest Bonus program.
If you're interested in gold prospecting or treasure hunting as a career, hobby, passion, or just something you're interested in getting into, you have to visit goldprospectorspace.com. At goldprospectorspace.com, you'll find forums, chats, videos, blogs, sections on dry washing, metal detecting, high banking, and so much more. At goldprospectorspace.com. There's a store, classifieds, and at goldprospectorspace.com every Sunday night at 7:30 Eastern Time. Tune in to Prospectors Radio, the talk show for gold prospectors and treasure hunters. Goldprospectorspace.com is a social network with thousands of members, and everything you need is at goldprospectorspace.com. Sign up today and get connected to others who share your love of gold and gold prospecting. Let the treasure hunt begin at goldprospectorspace.com. Goldprospectorspace.com.
All right, everybody, we're back. So where did we leave off at?
What was that first commercial you guys were just playing?
American Mining Rights Association.
Oh my gosh, that speaks the truth, and that really hits me to the core big time. I want to help out with that one. That when I was listening to that commercial going, yes, we all need to work on that.
Oh, definitely. With Amra, 100%. Yeah, without a doubt. Definitely want them in your corner.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay, so where was we? We was talking about Superstition Mountains.
Oh yeah.
So do you guys,
Grand Canyon and
yeah. So do you guys know Josh and Jess Feldman up there in Arizona? I know.
Why does that name sound familiar?
They did a treasure hunting show. They were on one of them gold shows. I think it was Ice Cold Gold.
Okay, I know who they are.
Yeah, they've been looking for that lost Dutchman for years, I believe.
You're talking about
Your father has. What's that?
The Feldman brothers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't know if you guys were familiar with them or not. You know, it's kind of. You know, I know big treasure hunters too, like that, and been looking for that lost Dutchman for a long time.
Yeah, it's a great story, and when you look at the stats on that, man, it brings in millions of people wanting to learn the story of the Dutchman. It's a good story, and you know what? That's a story that got me started on all of this. You know, ever since I was 6 years old, I remember going, Dad, is there really gold up there? You can see the superstitions, you know.
I know it's
Claw Peak, Camelback Peak, all those mountains in that area. And I was out there with my 22, 8 years old, going, oh, there's a rabbit. Psh, oh, Dad, is that Weaver's Needle? Is that where the Dutchman is? You know.
See, you've had this in you for a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And what's good? You enjoy it. You love it. You know. You've just got to do something with it, and that's cool, you know. Now, would you guys like to see your show be broadcast on like one of the networks?
Ooh.
Is that a goal, or you could care less either way?
You know,
it would have to be with a lot of guarantees for us.
Mm-hmm.
We want to keep control. No, we don't like. We can see the fake.
Right.
So we can see the planning. We can see all of that. We've known it's been around. But what we didn't just want to beat people. We wanted to be in control. You know, so we're not making the show to become the most famous and stuff like that. We actually just want to make something real. Mm-hmm. And after our experience with these networks and producers, directors, let me take that back. The directors are pretty good guys. And in fact, the guy who did or who is doing Blind Frog Ranch, I know him.
Okay.
He's a great guy. And so there are good ones out there. Don't get me wrong. But if we lost control, it wouldn't be what it looks like today.
No, it would turn into what everything else is. Right?
Yeah.
Scripted.
Yeah.
So without naming any of those treasures, are there any of them that if you actually did find, you would just go silent about?
Well, I can tell you this. Before my mentor passed away, he passed on some phone numbers, and he said, Tim, when you guys find something, don't even give your information out. Tell them where it's at, what it is. These guys make it disappear, and then you get paid. So I don't know how much we want to get into what's against the law, the Antiquities Act and all that kind of stuff. We have to be very careful about all that. But there is an underground treasure world that goes much larger than just a book or a Disney movie or something like that. There are people who can get pretty nitty gritty with it. And that's something that we try to not get involved with. You start getting involved with a lot of people.
Yeah, but is it one of them things you just go, shh, we didn't find nothing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We've talked about that on the show, and I've always said, you know, you come across these gold coins that were, you know, minted back who knows when, and you know, I might put just a couple of them back, but I'm telling you, the rest of them, they would be smelted, because gold is gold is gold.
Yeah.
And it would be smelted. It would be in gold bars. There would be no proof of nothing. But then eventually, because you look at how many people have actually discovered treasures, and then all of a sudden the government jumps in and takes it away from you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get any of it. And then you have to spend millions of dollars on lawyers just to try to get a fraction of it back. It's not worth it.
Right.
Oh, and you know, you look at like some of the old timers. I hate that. Old timers like Doc Noss, Jimmy Sierra, some of those that, you know, told their story, and you know, bad things happened to them. And that was when I was first learning the treasure hunting stuff. It was always, you don't say anything. You don't tell anybody where you're going. You don't tell anybody what you're doing.
Nope.
And these days, you know, where people are putting what they had for breakfast out on the internet, and you know how many times they went to the bathroom today, it's kind of changed, but it is still a real kind of a real shadowy area, or it can be, and you don't want to be telling too much, just because there's people out there that think, oh, you didn't pay for it, you didn't work for it, you just found it, it might as well be mine.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that is something that we're always concerned about, is how much do we tell, you know,
Right.
what do we show in the background?
Yeah, and you don't honestly go public with it until you've got it extracted. You know, you don't want.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, like what I was mentioning when I was back in school and I wanted to get into the profession of anthropology and history. It was around the time I met Todd, actually. I was working, I'm not going to say what state, I'm not going to say who, but I was working with a department that's in charge of when antiques and relics and treasures are found. And I thought we had a good relationship. They knew what I was going to school for. They knew what I was doing. And I can tell you this, things started going sideways, even to the point where we're out there doing what they knew we were looking for. We were in the exact same area where they knew we were. Sheriffs started showing up. Forest Service people started showing up. And all of a sudden we're getting accused of driving our vehicles on routes or trails that are unauthorized. The sheriff's department showed up, and before I know it, you know, they're pointing at these ATVs that I had and the truck and the trailer and everything, saying, we're going to take all this. I know at the time then, and even when I went to court, the judge threw it out. I think I ended up paying like a fee of $75. The judge said, you got to pay something. You know, they caused a lot of trouble. But I can tell you that is not the only story that we know of from other people before us that tried to do the right thing, bring this information or history or relics or treasure to the public, and it's taken away from them. And their name's not linked on it. There's no finder's fee. Some of them ended up in federal prison. So you do have to actually be very careful. But we're hoping that's another thing. Part of our goal in the long run is to help the treasure hunting community, which is all of us. Doesn't matter if it's gold, doesn't matter if it's metal detecting, to help out with the federal laws and the antiquity law that is really putting a damper on everything that we're trying to do. It's not right. There's certain places in the world where you can't even talk treasure. And there's other places in the world where if you find it, you get the credibility. It shows up in the museum with your name on it. You get the relic or the treasure back after they investigate it. There's something needs to be done here, because I think most of us are good people. And let's not forget, the hunt is the treasure, right? Yeah. All of us love the hunt. Yeah. And so all of us are doing this. I think the only reason why some of these laws have not been changed and rewritten after over 100 years is because we need to make a stand with our state politicians and stuff like that, and start making a stand as a community. I can tell you, we know how many people stand in the community of treasure hunting and all of these put together. And there's enough of us where we would win if we all start standing up for our own rights and start trying to change things.
Now, do you believe that there has been a lot of these treasures found and people have just not spoken up?
Oh yeah.
I've held gold bars. Yep. I've held silver bars. I've seen gold coins that have been found. Mm-hmm. And it's and
you can't just blame them.
No, somebody's we had an old guy at one of metal detecting clubs that he was an author and wrote in one of his books about this treasure that somebody had found, and he kind of didn't go into real big detail about it in his book, but he talked a little more in depth at the club meetings, about it. And it was he said somebody had found some muffin shaped gold bars, round, taller, bigger at the top than at the bottom. And he gave kind of a round number. One day we were over at his house having dinner with him, and he pulls one of these out and he says, "Yeah, you want to see something?" So he was trying to get the word out that this had been found,
right?
But it wasn't him. and that's there's been a lot of finds because of the way things are. Nobody talks about it, and so they're lost, they're gone,
right? So exactly. But where if they'd make it to where you find it, you have the rights to it, it's then people wouldn't be afraid to say, I found
but if you had the rights to it.
See, right, that's what I'm saying.
If the rights to it,
that's what I'm saying. If they changed it to where you had the rights,
something they're going to claim it. Somebody's going to claim it. Right. Oh, I went back in 1884 and we lost this.
Right.
Oh, no,
that's what we're saying. They need to change that to where
it needs aren't to be afraid. Changed.
Yeah.
And not only that, not only are we missing out on these discoveries, we're missing out on the history. I guarantee you, every relic, every treasure, every site that has these structures, and I don't tell anybody the things that I find, I can tell you that, but all of that, I'm documenting it. But if I can't tell you, publicly, what good is that doing for our history and things like that?
Exactly.
And I'm sorry, I love history as much as I love the treasures, as much as I love the hunt. And I think that might be why the history books, some people say they're wrong. If you can't come out and give new evidence that shows that maybe it was this way or that way, because you're afraid of going to prison, then you're missing out.
Which is kind of weird when you think about it. It's like you think they'd want to know this stuff.
Yeah.
Hello.
That's Chloe. She's the biggest treasure hunting fan in the world.
Is she? Yeah.
Daughter.
You are my treasure hunting daughter.
Well, there you go. I think we all got one of them.
Just remember, if you find nothing, don't tell nobody. Nobody.
I got to tell you, since she's on camera real quick, she's so cute. She walks around this house every day with a couple of totes around her size. She'll stuff her sleeping bag, her Mickey Mouse sleeping bag, her pillow, her backpack. And she tells me almost every night, "Dad, I just want to go out with your team. I just want to go out treasure hunting." She loves it. She talks about Todd. She talks about Sean, everybody. All she wants to do is go out and treasure hunt.
So have you told her that is there an age? Is there an age when she's going to finally be able to go with Dad?
Yeah. I do have to say she is level 2 autistic. And she's going through a lot of different things.
Did she shoot a gun?
I'm your treasure hunting friend too.
You are my
That's
treasure.
Hey, can she shoot a gun?
She goes out with dad, so she's been
She's in.
exposed to a lot of things like that. And she's doing really well.
Nice.
So I wouldn't doubt it. In fact, we actually have been doing a little bit of exploring, haven't we? And we've been doing a little bit of behind the scenes filming with her, and
Oh, that's cool.
She went through
Well,
her
you got to
first
protect your
line.
treasures.
Does she got a metal? Does she have a metal detector, Tim?
She does actually.
No.
Now, before White's went out of business, I was working very closely with White's metal detectors, and they actually gave her. I can't remember what it was or what it's called. I don't remember the name, but they gave her one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, Chloe.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I like treasure hunting. So I want to go. Do you like treasure hunting too?
Oh gosh, yes, I love it. All these guys, I think, do.
Yeah.
Everybody likes it.
Heck
huh?
yeah, that's
Everybody who I talk to loves treasures, so all she
Yeah.
uses is treasures. Okay, I
that's
love
cool.
Can you say bye to everybody?
Anything we find is treasure.
Watch, okay?
I love you. Say bye to everybody.
Bye,
Thank
Chloe.
you.
That's
Go
awesome.
see Mom. Yeah, she's a
Oh,
cute.
yeah.
She's going to be a better treasure hunter than I am because I didn't grow up the way she has
Right.
with all this talk. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So she'll be ready to.
You know what's really funny is because when she grows up, she's going to have to look for it harder than you did.
That's true.
Yep. Yep.
That's possible because there'll be less and less information.
You're right.
You know?
Well, unless she goes to Florida, that stuff just keeps coughing up stuff all day long.
Yeah. What about Florida? Have you guys done the Florida beach thing when these storms and the shipwreck coins and all that?
Too bad Mark wasn't on tonight because he lives in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Mark Hoover, and he's been involved with things like that. He goes to all the hunts. He knows friends who have what was that, Billy or the Crossbone or
Yeah.
I know I can't remember the name, Todd. But yeah, Florida is a great place for. It's like a treasure in itself for treasures.
Mhm.
That sounds like a
Yeah. Every time a hurricane hits there, man,
I swear.
up on the beaches.
I swear,
Yeah.
every time somebody finds gold coins on the beach.
Yep. Every time.
Well, and when you look at the history of the ports between the Spanish, the pirates, all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
when the French, the English, all of them, they've been using that East Coast for quite a while, along with, over by Cancun and Mexico City. But there's just sunken ships all over the place. And I think these big storms are bringing in,
Right.
or it could be uncovering. That's the thing about sand in the ocean. Is it bringing it in, or is it actually sweeping the sand away?
Right,
from the
pulling it
shore?
away.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
Never thought of it like that. Yeah. But you're right. Interesting.
Never stop looking because you pick what you would like to look for and you can find it. I guarantee you. You
Right.
will find a story in your area.
Wow.
So it doesn't
Right.
have to be like a treasure, but what's each of your favorite finds or something that you guys have found that you
Yeah.
really enjoyed?
That you can talk about.
I love finding gold, but I like the weird things that you find. Like up in Logan, Utah, Cache Valley, was metal detecting and found a German coin from 1940. I think it was 41 or 42. Anyway, it had the swastika on it, and it was like, where did this? How did this get up to Utah, to little podunk Logan?
If
Come
you
to
think
find
about
out,
it, if you think about it, it could have been a farmer that dropped it out of his pocket that actually fought in the war.
yeah.
Or Jack.
Well, they did it at the local fairgrounds. They did house German POWs for a while, so it could have come from one of those too.
Holy cow, no doubt.
I was detecting out here in the desert, and right on the surface underneath a sagebrush, I found a 1900 German coin. What was it, 5 kopeck, or I think it was a 5 kopeck. how did this Russian coin,
That's an odd one. Yeah.
get down here? So I like finding the weird things, the things that, makes you think, how did this get here? What's its story?
Yeah. Really out of place. Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's true.
My favorite one is there's a few of them, but some of them I will not speak of publicly. But I can tell you this one. I will tell you this one because I don't care what they do to me. A bronze coin. I found a bronze coin here in southern Utah. It was dated back in the 1500s. I actually thought I had it in this drawer and I was going to show you guys, but it was from the 1500s. And what was so cool about that story is I'm thinking to myself, where did this coin come from? Where did it originate from? And how did it get here? I sent it to New York to the specialist they said I need to send it to. He goes, Tim, it looks like it came from Europe. I don't know. And this is the guy who runs he runs the shows for coins and stuff in the Eastern region. He goes, I'm going to send it to the guy in California. He runs all the Western shows. And they sent it back to me. It was gone for about 4 months. And with a letter that literally said, we can't tell you if this is worth $1,000 or if it's priceless. What we can tell you is that it looks like it was a coin from either the pirate era or before. When I say pirate, actually, I'm not talking the 17 or the 16 and 1700s. I'm talking about the 1500s. So he's claiming it could be from Spain. It could be from England. They can tell from the material that it's legit. It's definitely bronze. And the condition is very worn on it. In fact, in my book, I have a picture of the front of it and on the back, and I talk about it more. But still today, I have that in my safe now, and no one can really tell the full story of it. And
it was really funny.
Cool.
You know what? It could have been a king back in the days that tried to make his own coin. It didn't take place, and they just got rid of it, and you got
true. That's very true. And that's kind of what they're saying. It's hard to say back then, did it come from London? Did it come from,
kings were like, oh, I want to have my own money and all that.
Yeah.
Kings were, which I don't recognize kings, queens. I don't care. You're no better than I am. God didn't make you that way. Sorry about your.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you want to believe it, it's your own thing.
Yep. But you could be right.
Yeah, they did make their own currency because back then, if you had your own currency, you were more powerful. You
were someone.
That's what you could buy here in the kingdom.
Yeah.
That's the way it was. And so I could see that. You could have actually a great coin of really significance, but nobody knows what it is.
No one knows. Yeah. It sits in my safe. I have it protected in the case, and I think I've had it at least 10 years now.
Wow.
I don't even know if Todd, have I showed you that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
You have seen it.
That's pretty amazing, man. That's
a good find for sure.
Yeah.
Now,
I like it.
Let's change course a little bit. So, all right, Tim. So, where can people get your book if they want it? And is it out now?
It's on pre-order. It is a published book, so it's out of my hands. I write it, they take over. It is on Amazon. All you do is just type in Treasures of the Ancients, and it'll take you right to it on Amazon. It's on pre-order on the Kindle right now. And what my publisher wanted.
Imagine a book being sold on Amazon.
Yeah, I know, right? That's so crazy. So my publisher, he knew that I was going to be doing all these podcasts this month. We have like 2 to 3 lined out every week for the last 4 weeks, and we're going to continue on for the rest of the month. He wanted to make the price. He knew I was going to be talking to my community.
Right.
And this community is the people that can really help us. So he put the Kindle price at only $2.99, which you're stealing the book for me right now. And that's the ebook copy, So go to Amazon and type in Treasures of the Ancients by Timothy Draper. You'll find it, $2.99. By next week, the book will be there, and you'll be able to click on it to see inside. You'll be able to see how many pages, and you'll be able to pre-order that too. But by January 31st of this month, it's fully ready to buy, and it's being shipped to your house, or it'll be sent to your Kindle or to your email through the publisher.
Right, but it won't be $2.99 then. The book won't be.
I was late 80s, early 90s. When's the video?
Let's say that again. I'm like,
Jaron, that's the link on Amazon for it.
Yeah, that's the link to his book. It was
Oh,
too
thank you.
long for YouTube, but
Oh, okay.
I did post it on GPS.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Take a look at it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, so that's sweet. You could get the Kindle version and start reading it right away.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what the publisher said. You know, it's going to go worldwide. But if you're going to be talking to your community, those are your people. Those are the people that are really going to appreciate it. Give it to them for a good deal.
That is. It's a great deal.
Yeah.
Man, heck yeah, that's cool.
Hey, if you're a treasure hunter, you're going to read it, right?
Right. I mean, you should.
Yes.
I don't want to throw it out there, but if you're a gold digger, you might read it too.
But there's a lot of all the above. Like, I think that you would see that if we had more time to hang out and, you know, you went out in the field with us, how much alike we all are, and how this team, Treasures of America and Uncharted Expedition, has inherited every outdoor hobby in the way of trying to be successful in finding these treasures.
Yeah. I see. I think we're all the same. Yeah. It's
Like I said, anytime you guys want to like relinquish some information, I'm always good for it.
And another thing, Todd and Tim, you guys should really check out AMRA when you get.
I've been ever since I got my first mining claim.
Todd.
I followed AMRA.
Yeah.
Actually had some problems with a closed road up in our claims up in Idaho that we got some good advice from the people at AMRA. So I've been following them for a long time.
Yeah. Go
Sounds
figure.
familiar.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, yeah.
Western states, you just can't get California, Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Idaho.
Now, wait a minute. You got to leave Nevada out.
Okay, take out Nevada. I don't.
Take out
That's
Nevada.
fine with me.
Yeah,
Nevada's still pretty clean on. They don't really. It's like, you know, I know you're digging in dirt. We don't care. You're not moving enough. We
just don't mess with the desert tortoise.
Exactly.
Oh,
Don't
that's
screw
cool.
with a desert tortoise.
Other than that,
I have heard that one.
No, that's not a joke, bro.
Yeah.
Oh no, we've got them around here.
We have it here too
Oh, you
in
guys
southern
do?
Utah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, you get a picture with one in your hand. It's called 1-800 You're Screwed.
That's sad though. It's pitiful.
I never put it in my hand. I just got extra close-ups to its face. Right there. There you go.
Poor man.
It's, you know what's so funny about those tortoises, because they actually look like the old time 1960 like freaking Godzilla movies, like when the turtle or whatever's trying to catch something.
Yeah.
They had to get a close-up of a freaking desert tortoise. That is the closest thing I ever seen to look to it.
See? So what it is.
No other turtle, snap turtle, box turtle, I don't care. The only thing that comes close to it is a desert tortoise, and it's black as coal. I'm like, wow, you're out here in the sunlight and you're black.
Yeah. Oops.
Okay.
That's why they spend so much time underground.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Poor little things probably boil in that shell.
They'd have to. All right, guys, give me some websites. Where can people find you? You know, YouTube, all that stuff. Rattle them off for us. And
You want to take that, Todd, or you want me to take that?
You go ahead. I've only got the one, CacheValleyDetectorist.com, and I'm on Instagram and that also, but I don't. I'm an old guy. I don't post all that much. So there's not a lot there, but there is some.
all right.
So we have been on social media for several years. We've tried to keep it the same, to keep it simple. It doesn't matter if you're on TikTok. It doesn't matter if you're on Instagram, Facebook. Type in either Treasures in America or our new show, Uncharted Expedition. My name is Timothy Draper. I have all those social media accounts under the same name as well.
Right.
So it's pretty easy. You know, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, just about every social media you can think of, or wherever you're hanging out in, you'll be able to find us from those names.
Well, now we know how to send our hate mail.
Yeah.
Oh, no, please don't.
Do it.
I'm like, oh boy.
Awesome.
That
Well,
was pretty funny, though.
we definitely want to thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us tonight.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
no
been a
doubt.
pleasure. Thank you.
We've really enjoyed this, and you guys are welcome back anytime.
And we're definitely going to check more of your videos out, man, because I
you.
haven't like through my feed or on my Facebook, I haven't seen one of your guys' stuff. I'm like, I don't know why, because you guys are making good wind. I mean, you got big sales up and you're doing your thing. I don't know why they didn't put it on. So
now you can add them, Scott, to your Facebook.
no,
It takes a while to build a brand. It takes a while to build awareness, and it takes a lot of money and patience. So, yeah.
Yeah, it does. So if you guys,
but I can't think through some of my wires. I haven't seen you guys. I'm like, I don't know why not. So I got you on there now. So now we're gonna check you out.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Like I said, you're welcome back anytime. If you come up with something and you just need to come and talk about it and get it out there, give us a holler. Let us know. We'll get you on here. Okay.
Another thing, real quick before you go, you guys always have a personal invite if you ever want to do any prospecting on my claims in Idaho, or you want to do a little exploring in my gold mine.
I love it.
Well,
What part of Idaho are
I'll
you
take you
from?
up on that one.
What part? Where are you at? East or west?
Elk City.
Where is
You go
it?
straight up Elk City. You go straight up to the top of Idaho, and then you shoot straight down. It's one way in, one way out.
Nice.
Yep, it's
Same goes with you guys.
Fit City.
Same with you guys. If you guys need anything from us, we're your guys' buddies now. If you need anything from us, you come down to southern Utah. Let us know.
Careful now. There's 3 of us Utah people in here right now. Well, not in this. If you're watching.
That's okay. But that's the whole part. Hey, I don't know if we mentioned that, but the friendship, meeting new people, educating, you guys can teach us things. We can teach you things. Think about how strong of community we could be if we all start working together.
Great. I agree 100%.
That's the GPS community, baby. That's what we're doing.
Old Prospector space.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks, guys. You guys have a great evening, and good luck out there. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Thanks.
Okay?
You too.
See you guys.
Good night, gold diggers. Have a great night.
Very cool. It's been.
I'll have a great year by that way. I'm just saying.
Yes, it's been a pleasure having these guys on, man.
That was awesome.
Yes, it was. Hold on. Let me. Nope. Wait a minute.
Are you okay?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm good.
Are you there?
Yes,
Hello?
I am here. But yeah, that was a great show. Yeah, I enjoyed having them guys.
Whoever hooked that up, good job.
What's that, Dan?
That whoever hooked that guest up, good job.
He actually hooked himself up.
Wow.
He contacted me and asked me if we'd like to have him on the show, and I'm like, heck yeah.
You know what? I got to admit, that's a pretty smart freaking guy.
That's the way to do it.
He do just what they say they're doing, so why not?
Yes, very cool. And
like I said, I shared it earlier. I'm like, I didn't even hear about this. I'm like, I'll just share it.
Jaren's been sharing it, and a couple other people. We tried to share it. Jaren made the banner thing. We tried to share it. So,
well, like I said, I shared it on all 3 of my pages, so I'm good. So,
so we got it out there. So hopefully, a lot of people tuned in tonight. And
yeah,
that's one thing we got to do, Tim. We got to get you to schedule the shows, so I can get you a thumbnail and everything, and so it doesn't just say,
Yeah, Jaren's good.
What you mean?
You found a good tech guy. You found a good tech guy, Tim, because Jaren can do that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean schedule.
From the YouTube studio, you can schedule a live that way, and they'll ask you for a thumbnail. And what I can do is just take the graphic I made, shrink it down, so that way when they go live, they'll see that graphic and they'll go, "Oh, there's a guest tonight," and they'll like, "Oh, I've heard of those people," and come in.
See?
You know the same stuff Shad used to do.
Yeah, I see, but we never did that schedule the show. But yeah, it's a good idea. I'll look into that, Jaren. Sure. Good.
I just like the flyers, man. I could share.
Yeah, I do too. I like them.
They're going to be on GPS.
Well, see, all I have to do, because they'll ask you for a thumbnail, or they'll just randomly select one. But What I'll have to do is just take that graphics and just shrink it down a little bit to whatever YouTube's max is, and then I'll
Right.
give it to you, and then you put it up. So when you go live, and it'll show, or it'll have, or even when they go to Prospectors Radio, it'll show upcoming live stream. It'll show that graphics, and they'll know that they're coming up. You know.
Right. Very cool.
Check, baby, I check.
Next week, who do we got, Jaron?
Tyler Gutowski.
Tyler Gutowski from Bering Sea Bowl, right?
Oh, cool.
Okay, cool. So that'll be next Sunday here on Prospect Radio. So
This will be different.
I'll be late, but I'll be here because I work.
all
next-
right. Well, I hope so.
Get out till 8, so I'm gonna hurry up and get my butt home.
All right, cool. I
Yeah.
hope so, brother.
You'll be late, but sure crap ain't gonna be for supper.
No. Yeah. And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
We love you, Dennis.
All right. See you guys later.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will
Good night, Gold
see you
Diggers.
Wednesday. Good night,
Good night.
everybody.
Cheers.
Not y'all.
Be sure to tune in next Sunday at 7:30 for another great show. For updates and more info, please go to www